GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, I'm CJ Waterhouse. We'll talk about Pride Montreal's 20th anniversary, the new cyclist collision hotspot report, and heavy congestion on Auto Route 40. Also a quick look at the flood map delay. We'll also note a fire at the Notre Dame encampment in Félix Auger-Aliassime's draw. Over to you, Jeff.
This Saturday, the Otaku Piano Concert will unfold under the sakura trees at Park Jean Drapeau, beginning at 6 p.m., with tickets priced at $15.
The event features pianist Yuki Tanaka performing classic anime scores, and families with children under 12 receive complimentary admission on the day.
A special guest appearance by voice actor Hiroshi Nakamura will occur midway, accompanied by live visual projections of iconic series scenes.
We've got a full day ahead and plenty to explore, so without further delay, let's get started on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Good morning, Montreal.
Fierté Montreal celebrates its 20th anniversary, pledging renewed activist focus and community dialogue after the 2025 crisis disrupted the festival. The event returns Saturday morning. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
At the downtown plaza, banners in rainbow colors flutter as volunteers set up stages for this year's Pride celebration. Organizers mark 20 years since Fierté Montreal first marched through the city, and they're using the opening ceremony to outline a new focus on community dialogue and reparations. After a disruptive crisis in 2025 that forced the festival to shut down, the board announced a plan to restore the activist roots that defined the early events. Speakers on the main stage will address the past year's challenges and invite local groups to shape the program moving forward. The crowd, a mix of longtime participants and newcomers, gathers early this Saturday morning, ready to reclaim the spirit of the parade. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, Montreal. A new city report pinpoints Montreal's most dangerous cyclist collision intersections, highlighting safety concerns at several high-traffic junctions. Police and municipal officials say urgent action is needed. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
At the heart of the city, officials from Montreal and the police have just released a report pinpointing the intersections where cyclists are most frequently involved in collisions. The study, compiled from recent traffic data, lists the downtown crossroads of St. Laurent and Sherbrooke, the bustling junction of St. Denis and de Maisonneuve, and the busy stretch of René Lévesque near the Old Port as the top 3 hotspots. Together, those sites account for a significant share of the incidents recorded over the past year. City planners say the findings will feed into upcoming safety measures, while cyclists and advocacy groups are already urging faster action. The numbers underline the challenge of sharing the road in a city that sees thousands of bikes daily. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Montreal's Claude Robillard and Etienne Desmarteau centers have been praised for seamlessly blending Olympic-era sports facilities into the urban fabric, illustrating effective city-wide integration. Nadia Bellafuel has the full story.
The Claude Robillard Sports Complex and the Etienne Desmarteau Center have both been singled out as standout examples of urban integration, praised for how they blend athletic facilities with the surrounding cityscape. Officials say the 2 Olympic-era sites continue to serve neighborhood residents, offering easy access to recreation, community programs, and public transit links. Planners point to the seamless flow between green space, bike paths, and nearby schools, noting the venue's role in activating previously underused corridors. Their design, originally intended for the 1976 Games, now supports daily life for families, seniors, and youth, reinforcing the idea that sports infrastructure can become a permanent, livable part of the urban fabric. Nadia Bellafuel, GMNA News, Montreal. Roadside crosses line Quebec's highways, a stark reminder of faith and memory that have become part of the province's cultural landscape. Jean-Christophe Lawrence investigates their origins and upkeep. Jean-Christophe Lawrence has the full story.
Along the winding stretches of Quebec's highways, rows of modest wooden and metal crosses punctuate the landscape, each a silent marker of loss and memory. Jean-Christophe Lawrence is traveling the province, speaking with families, parish groups, and road crews to uncover how the monuments first appeared after early 20th century accidents and how they are cared for today. He notes that many of the crosses are tended by volunteers who repaint, replace rusted nails, and clear overgrowth each spring. Others sit untouched, weathered by snow and sun, yet they remain visible to drivers from the St. Lawrence corridor to the remote roots of the Saguenay. The practice, he says, has become woven into Quebec's cultural fabric, a roadside tradition that endures across generations. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Quebec.
Nadia Comensai is back in Montreal for a commemorative ceremony at the Olympic Stadium, marking the 50th anniversary of the 1976 Games where she earned the first perfect 10. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
At the Olympic Stadium today, former Romanian gymnast Nadia Comensai steps onto the track and field arena for a ceremony marking the 50-year anniversary of the 1976 Summer Games. The event, organized by the city and the Canadian Olympic Committee, features a parade of former athletes, a tribute video, and a moment of silence for the games that put Montreal on the world stage. Comensai, who captured the world's attention by scoring a perfect 10 on the uneven bars in 1976, joins a handful of Olympians to receive a commemorative plaque and to watch a short exhibition of archival footage. The crowd erupts in applause as she waves, reminding everyone of the lasting legacy of those games. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Hochelaga.
Next up, Quebec delays release of updated flood maps set for Aug. 1. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Good morning, Montreal. Quebec's Environment Ministry has postponed the August 1, 2026 release of updated flood zone maps, the first revision in 8 years since the 2019 update, amid mayoral pressure for risk data. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Provincial officials have pushed back the release of Quebec's updated flood zone maps, now set for a later date after the original August 1 deadline slipped. The Environment Ministry, which last refreshed the maps in 2019, faces growing pressure from the Greater Montreal mayors who say repeated flooding has left residents without current risk data. The delay means the province will go 8 years without a new official flood assessment, despite climate-related events intensifying across the region. Officials cite the need to incorporate recent hydrological studies, while municipal leaders urge a swift rollout to aid emergency planning and homeowner insurance decisions. The postponement adds uncertainty for neighborhoods still recovering from recent high water events. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Plateau.
A large fire broke out overnight at the Notre Dame homeless encampment in the Mercier-Hochelaga-Maisonneuve neighborhood, with no injuries reported. Officials note encampment fires have nearly doubled this year. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Overnight, a sizable blaze ignited at the Notre Dame encampment, a densely packed homeless site in Montreal's Mercier-Hochelaga-Maisonneuve neighborhood. Firefighters from the Service de Sécurité Incendie de Montreal arrived to find flames licking through makeshift shelters, quickly containing the fire before it spread further. Officials confirmed that no one was injured despite the crowded conditions. Smoke curled up above the tarps as residents watched from a safe distance, while crews deployed hoses and protective gear. The incident marks a single fire at the encampment, adding to a troubling trend. Fire department data show that blazes in homeless camps have almost doubled over the past 12 months. Crews worked through the early hours to extinguish the remaining hotspots and secure the area. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Mercier.
3 Montreal residents received post-exposure rabies prophylaxis after a cat confirmed with rabies bit them, health officials said. The treatment aims to prevent a fatal infection. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Health officials in the Montreal area confirmed on July 31, 2026, that 3 residents received post-exposure prophylaxis after being bitten by a cat later tested positive for rabies. The Montérégie Public Health Department said the animal showed clear signs of infection and laboratory analysis verified the virus. All 3 patients were taken to local clinics where they began the standard series of rabies vaccinations to prevent the otherwise fatal disease. Officials emphasized the importance of immediate medical attention following any animal bite, especially when rabies cannot be ruled out. No further cases have been reported in the region at this time. The cases are being monitored as part of ongoing surveillance across the province. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Felix Auger-Aliassime finds himself sharing a quarter of the National Bank Open men's singles draw with Italy's Flavio Cabali after Thursday's bracket release. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Felix Auger-Aliassime now shares the quarter with Italy's Flavio Cabali after the National Bank Open released its men's singles draw on Friday. Both players sit in the same section of the bracket, meaning they could meet as early as the round of 16 if they each win their opening matches. Auger-Aliassime, a top seed and hometown favorite, will open against a qualifier, while Cabali, a rising Italian, faces a seasoned tour veteran. The draw also leaves a clear path for other seeded players in the quarter, with the next potential opponents listed as the winners of the adjacent first-round matches. Fans can expect a tightly contested showdown as the tournament progresses. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Heavy truck overturned on Montreal's A13 highway ramp on July 31st after the driver was reportedly traveling too fast, joining a string of recent large truck loss of control incidents. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
An 18-meter, 20-ton tractor-trailer careened onto the A13 highway ramp just before sunset on July 31, 2026. Witnesses say the driver, a seasoned professional, was traveling too fast when the vehicle hit a slick patch near the ramp's curve. The truck rolled onto its side, spilling cargo and blocking 2 lanes for nearly an hour while crews worked to right the rig. Police arrived quickly, directing traffic and securing the scene. No injuries were reported, though the driver was treated for minor bruises. The incident adds to a string of recent large truck losses of control on Montreal's highways, prompting renewed calls for speed enforcement on steep ramps. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, A13 ramp. Now let's check in with our weather team for the afternoon outlook.
A weak surface ridge under a westerly jet keeps Montreal clear, but a falling pressure hints at unsettled afternoon. On August 1st, the all-time high for Montreal sits at 31.4 degrees, recorded in 2024 during a persistent heat wave that pushed daily maxima well above the norm. The record low, 11.6 degrees, fell in 2023 when an early summer Arctic dip surprised the city with a brisk snap. By contrast, today's climatological average hovers near 22 degrees high and 16 degrees low, underscoring how today's 23 degrees feels modest against those extremes. The live radar shows a completely clear field across southern Quebec, with no echoes from the St. Lawrence Basin to the Laurentians. A weak ridge of high pressure dominates, and the westerly jet at 61 kilometers per hour slices the upper atmosphere without forcing lift. With the air mass stable, any showers are unlikely to develop, so the city will stay dry through the afternoon. I'm now turning to today's outlook. At noon, Montreal sits at 23 degrees under a clear sky, humidity lingering around 77%, and a gentle southerly breeze of 8 kilometers per hour. Pressure is near average, but easing lower, signaling a gradual destabilization as the day progresses. Overhead, the westerly jet streams at 61 kilometers per hour act like a conveyor, nudging any developing disturbances eastward and keeping the core of the city dry for now. Temperatures will climb to a high of 27 degrees by mid-afternoon, then dip to a low of 20 degrees after sunset. UV index reads 5 and wind will remain modest, maxing at 10 kilometers per hour from the south. No weather alerts are in effect. Tomorrow remains overcast with a 65% chance of rain and a high near 27 degrees, low 20 degrees. Monday will break the clouds, offering clear skies but still a 70% rain risk as a lingering frontal boundary drifts north, keeping temperatures around 25 degrees high and 18 low. Tuesday stays dry and clear, warming to 26 degrees by afternoon and holding 18 degrees overnight. Wednesday introduces light rain, 40% probability, as a weak trough pushes the jet slightly south, lifting temperatures to a high of 28 degrees and a low of 18. Thursday rounds out the stretch with mostly clear conditions, another 40% rain chance, and a comfortable high of 28 degrees and low of 21. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Heavy congestion hits Autoroute 40, a look at Baby Nova's music journey, and a spotlight on Le Petit Atelier. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Eastbound traffic on Autoroute 40 is now diverted onto Côte de Lys Service Road, and several entrance ramps, Cavendish Boulevard, Marcel Lauren Boulevard, St. Croix Avenue are closed. That bottleneck is feeding heavy congestion from the west into the island. The Pont-Honoré-Mercier Bridge is restricting heavy vehicles, slowing east-west flow further. In the downtown core, Rue Saint-Urbain over Autoroute Ville-Marie remains a major hindrance, adding delays for north-south commuters. Construction continues on Boulevard Lacordaire above Autoroute 40, and on the Autoroute 31 overpass at the 40 interchange in Lavaltrie, but traffic there is moving at a normal pace. On transit, the STM Green Line between Berry-UQAM and Papineau is offline until 2 p.m., and the Orange Line sees minor delays between Montmorency and Côte-Verdue. Berry-UQAM Metro Station is closed for cleaning, and Exoline 2 service is suspended between St. Constant and Candiac. Expect lingering slowdowns into the afternoon, especially on the 40 corridor.
Five Finger Death Punch is tearing up the Bell Center tonight, backed by Cody Jinks and Eva Under Fire, delivering a heavy metal punch that's a must-see for any rock fan. Across town, Baby Nova takes the main stage of one of Canada's biggest summer festivals, sharing a remarkable journey from Halifax to Hollywood that promises fresh indie vibes. At Club Sagacité, Thaxon brings a high-energy set that blends electronic beats with Montreal's nightlife pulse, perfect for a late-night dance escape. Looking ahead, Ashiga kicks off tomorrow on Parc Jean Drapeau, a multi-genre extravaganza that will draw international headliners and turn the island into a music playground. Don't miss the chance to catch rising stars and legendary acts side by side. And if you're staying local, Time Out Market Montreal is buzzing with free kids activities and a surprise Cirque du Soleil show, giving families a reason to linger over a bite. And now here's Jason with sports.
Draft dreams, depth debates, and defensive dilemmas shape the Habs' summer outlook. The Canadiens have zeroed in on 3 prospects they could nab at the 2027 draft, signaling a shift toward rebuilding core talent. While other clubs lock in extensions, Montreal's scouting focus suggests they're positioning for a deeper, younger roster that could reshape the blue line and forward depth. Arbor Exhekaj sits at a salary cap crossroads, forcing management to weigh his defensive upside against looming contract constraints. Retaining him could solidify the third pairing, but a costly extension risks limiting flexibility for upcoming free agents. The decision will shape Montreal's cap strategy heading into the next season. The Canadiens' blue line now boasts unprecedented depth, a product of Martin Saint, Louis and Kent Hughes rewarding performance and cultivating younger talent. With Daniel Jacobs stepping behind the Laval Rocket bench, the AHL affiliate will mirror Montreal's revamped roster, giving prospects a proving ground for the upcoming campaign.
Le Petit Atelier in Mile End opens its doors on St. Laurent Boulevard, bringing a fresh wave of handmade accessories to the neighborhood. Founded by former fashion designer Marie-Claire Tremblay, the boutique showcases locally crafted jewelry, scarves, and bags, plus fabric by the yard for DIY enthusiasts. A dedicated workshop space offers weekly classes where residents can learn stitching, beadwork, and sustainable design. On its first day, more than 200 shoppers streamed in, a clear sign that the community craves authentic, independent retail. By nurturing creative talent and keeping money in the local economy, Le Petit Atelier reinforces Mile End's reputation as a hub for artisanal culture. It's a reminder that Montreal thrives when its makers have a place to call home. Coming up, we'll break down Ashiga's new strict bag policy for the 2026 festival, then back after the break.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMna for the local Sunset Montreal's evening newscast.
The city's soccer fans are buzzing as the New England Revolution head to Stade Saputo tonight to face CF Montreal in a clash that could reshape the league standings. The atmosphere is electric, with tickets selling out fast and both sides looking to claim bragging rights. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks CJ Waterhouse. The stadium lights blaze over Stade Saputo, and the scent of fresh grass mixes with the salty bite of Montreal summer. Fans in blue and red flood the stands, waving scarves, chanting in unison as the New England Revolution warm up on the western sideline. The echo of cleats on turf rings out, a rhythmic thud that steadies the pulse of the crowd. On the pitch, CF Montreal's captain jogs, eyes scanning the sea of supporters, while the Revolution's striker lines up a practice shot that sails past the keeper, a reminder of their 4-1 triumph in Atlanta just days ago. The atmosphere feels electric, each side aware that a 5-0 victory in the last visit still haunts the home side after a 1-0 loss to Inter Miami. Tonight, the city hopes for redemption, a chance for local kids watching from the stands to see their heroes turn the tide. This match isn't just points, it's pride for a community that lives for the game. Carl Dumont virtually at Stade Saputo. Good morning, Montreal. Osheaga Festival organizers have introduced a strict bag policy for the 3-day July 31st to August 2nd, 2026 event at Parc Jean-Drapeau, citing security concerns. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
Festival goers arriving at Parc Jean-Drapeau this weekend will find security staff stationed at every entrance, enforcing a newly tightened bag policy for Osheaga's 3-day run from July 31st to August 2nd. Organizers say only small, clear bags meeting specific dimensions will be permitted, and all other containers must be left at designated drop-off points before entry. The measure comes as the lineup this year features international names such as Tate McRae, Lord and Wolf Parade, drawing crowds that typically swell to tens of thousands each day. Attendees are being asked to plan ahead, as checks are expected to add several minutes to the entry process. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, Parc Jean-Drapeau. A Quebec Superior Court judge has ordered the province and former tourism minister Caroline Proulx to pay over $60,000 for breaching a contract and infringing an anti-abortion group's freedom of expression. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
On July 31, 2026, the Quebec Superior Court issued a ruling that the provincial government and former tourism minister Caroline Proulx must pay more than $60,000 to a Christian anti-abortion organization. The judge found that the province had entered a contract with the group that was later breached, and that the breach also infringed the organization's freedom of expression. The court determined the breach was unlawful and ordered restitution. The decision follows a 2023 agreement between the government and the group that the court now says violated contractual and constitutional rights. The province and former minister have been given a deadline to comply with the payment order. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thanks, Montreal, for tuning in. Tonight's highlight was Nadia Cominsai's return to celebrate the 50-year Olympic milestone, a reminder of our city's enduring spirit. Stay with us tomorrow for more stories that matter to our community. I'm CJ Waterhouse, wishing you a good night. Take care and see you bright and early at 8.